Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the WGLNA Season 1 Gold League. I'm your host, Christian Toma. To my left is David Williams. Make sure to check us out on Facebook and YouTube /WGLNA, and go ahead and follow us on Twitter @WGLNA so you guys can stay up to date on what's happening in the community around you.
While you're at it, open up another browser, type in battleviewer.com. If you're not already there, you get access to the same Twitch chat you know and you love.
That's right.
Match listings, match schedules, easy access to YouTube and Twitter. There's literally no reason for you not to be watching this on battleviewer.com.
That's right. As always said, it's always better on battleviewer.com. And while you're there, go ahead and click the button in the bottom right that says Fantasy. This will take you to the World of Tanks Fantasy League, and how this works is you guys set up the 7 players before the night starts. They accumulate points for you as they play, and points lead to tons of prizes, such as in-game premium time, in-game gold, and also in-game premium tanks you can't get anywhere else, like the Hype 59. Again, you guys can't get that anywhere else but Fantasy, worldoftanks.com. But enough of me talking. Let's check out the video. There you have it, guys. Again, check that out on battleviewer.com. All right, now, David, out of the 4 matches tonight, I saw one that I thought might go particularly longer. It's going to be the 07 versus Simp match. Team with 17 points playing the game with team with 16 points, so I doubled up on them. What do you think? Is that a wise choice?
It's not a bad choice at
all right.
I can give you that.
It's good.
That match is strange. It could go quick. It could go long either way.
All right.
But my overall betting strategy is a little bit different.
Okay.
So I'm so far down at this point. Well, not so far down. I'm down to about 10 at this point.
Okay.
And I can't win any prizes, as much as I would love to win that golden jet. So it's a prize, right?
Yeah.
Then I'm just going to swing for the fences. So I stacked all 7 players on 2 battles this time around.
Wow. That is a bold strategy indeed. Let's see if it works out for you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys missed anything from last week, let's go and take a look at the scores from those matches on Thursday. Up first, we had Refuse losing to Simp 4-5. Followed by #U losing to Noble 1-5. Third, we had Elevate losing to High Voltage 1-5 as well. And finally, Rival losing to Game Over 2-5. David, let's walk through these matches one at a time. Up first, Refuse versus Simp. A game that went well into a tiebreaker. We started out on, I believe, Ruinberg, tied up there. Went to Ghost Towns, tied up there. And then finally, Himmelsdorf, where Simp pulled it out. The one thing for me that was really exciting to see was on Ruinberg, Simp pulled out the 5 IS-3s, pushing up to the northeastern cap, which was extremely fun to watch. What were some of the highlights for you?
I think you hit the nail on the head on that one. The 5 IS-3s was a strategy that was risky.
Yeah.
And it has a certain genius to it. People may look at it and think it doesn't really have a good chance to succeed if there's a 5100 in the top. I'm not going to get into all the details of it. I'll put it this way. It worked for a lot of very tricky reasons that only pro players will certainly understand or will fully understand, and it would take a lot of discipline for a team to beat it. Simp exploited that, went hard for it, came out with a victory.
Well, congratulations, because they did need that win. A huge pickup for them on that first match. Next up, we had #U losing to Noble 1-5. The only victory #U picked up was on the first battle of the night on Himmelsdorf. And then Noble came back and won 5 in a row. Some of the things you saw from that match.
Looked like #U kind of died in the second match, honestly.
Yeah.
But overall, it's the continued struggle of #U and Noble keeping it together, playing fairly rounded out, and just coming home with a 5-1. There's nothing particularly special about that battle. If you saw it, there's nothing else to cover.
All right. Next up, then, we had Elevate versus High Voltage. A very fast-paced, very explosive matchup there, that third match of the night. One of the things for me that was really fun to see, High Voltage starting out right on mines. They went for a flank, I believe, with the Walker Bulldogs. Looked like they failed. They fumbled that, but then they came back with the win, cleaned them up 4-0 on mines, going into Lakeville. Elevate only got to pick up 1. Some of the highlights for you from that third match.
Well, the first game in particular, like you said, was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of 50-50 on the Bulldog rush. There's certain things about how you have to deal with it that make it pretty effective, but I feel like it broadcasts a little bit. The best game I saw out of High Voltage in the entire thing was Game 3 on Mines. So it was their first offense, actually. and they sort of baited Elevate to come after them by chasing a scout into the east, and it looked like everything else was scripted and prepared for that.
Yeah.
Elevate took the tier 8 out of position, went right down the middle, and it's one of those situations where even being a tank down, better position will make up for it. Solid focus fire by High Voltage, couple mistakes in player skill on Elevate, and it came out with another win, but hands down one of the more impressive wins I've seen in the entire season.
For sure. Another huge pickup there for High Voltage, maintaining that top position. And finally, Game Over versus Rival. Game Over beating Rival 5-2. Starting out on Himmelsdorf, a map that we've kind of been broadcasting. You should take away from Game Over because they do so well on it. And that's exactly what they did. Some of the things that you saw from that final matchup.
I mean, Game Over is still outplaying people on Himmelsdorf, and like you said, they're just not banning it.
Yeah.
I don't get quite why. The only advantage there is you've seen a lot of footage, so you know relatively what Game Over is going to do. But kind of the amusing thing about that is a lot of teams have set up strategies waiting for what Game Over is going to do, and it hasn't made a difference. Game Over's just blasted their way right through.
They know that, man.
So in that situation, I feel like Game Over has been getting steadily better throughout the season, although I'd like to see them be more well-rounded around on a number of maps. So perhaps next time we see them play, maybe somebody will ban Himmelsdorf and we'll see what else they've got.
Maybe we'll just continue the trend of letting them play on that map. But again, a great pickup there from them, 5-2. Let's take a look at the standings now as we go into our 8th and final week for the playoffs of our Season 1 Gold League. Up on top, High Voltage still with 28 points, followed by Refuse with 24. Next, Elevate, the Noble and 07. And down at the bottom, Rival, Maple Freedom, and Game Over. Now, David, kind of going into this, like we're saying, this is the last week before we hit the playoffs. Now, there's some teams who are guaranteed already into playoffs, but how important are some of these matches that we're going to see in 2 days left? I mean, can we still see the crazy changing of the rosters?
Definitely, especially in the overall seeding of the playoffs, and then to a lesser extent, there's actually still some playoff drama, whether teams will even make it in. Synergy has a very small chance of making it in.
But
I can go through the whole list. There's a number of teams that can be bumped out, and some that can come back in. But we'll talk about more as we get into those actual matches.
Sure.
About what needs to happen. But right now, it's only Refuse and High Voltage that have guaranteed playoff spots.
Right.
High Voltage guaranteed #1 seed.
Well, good for them. David, you called it early on in the season. You were saying they are the ones who looked like they'd be taking first, and so far they have proved that. And again, the finals are going to be October 3rd. Mark that in your calendars. Be here in Los Angeles, California, and the #1 team, $75,000 is what they're going to be taking home. A huge prize pool for that. So very exciting. Again, October 3rd. Mark that on your calendars. But right now, tonight, we have some fantastic matchups for you guys. Let's take a look at what we've got for you. Up first is going to be Maple Freedom versus Lamp, followed by 07 versus Simp. Third will be Synergy versus Noble, and finally Refuse versus #RU. David, which out of the 4 matches tonight, which one are you most excited to see?
That would be Synergy versus Noble, hands down.
Okay.
It's an incredibly important match for both teams. Synergy has to win it in order to stand a chance of perhaps taking the 2nd seed away from Refuse, and there's some more complexity there we'll get into as those matches go on.
Sure.
But Synergy definitely needs it to even stand a chance of getting into the playoffs.
Whew, a lot of high stakes riding on that matchup for sure. That's why it's going to be mine as well. It's going to be fun to see these teams really, hopefully, pulling out all the stops because they need to win this. Both teams really need to win this one to make it count. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for our pregame show. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't go anywhere. If you're going to go anywhere, go to battleViewer.com. But match #1 is going to be right after this quick break. Going to be the first one across the sides. The kills are exchanging sides. Let's see who comes out on top from this little skirmish here. Mr. Man taking the shots. Anfield having to get over as well. If Mr. Man chases him, this might not be good for him. One shot from the kills, or another one going to Anfield, actually getting the ram. Looks like Mr. Man drove right into that one. And now the response. Anfield coming over the top. Take the shot. JD Banjaman finding the first kill onto the kill zone. A T54 lightweight versus a 5100 fight breast cancer.
Oh, nice move by
versus Pub Whisperer. Let's see if he can find it. The shot going out, the ramp to finish it up. 280 points of damage. Fight breast cancer gets another one up. He'll have another one shot, but Pub Whisperer needs to take one more. His shot misses. Fight breast cancer will pick up this victory. Light the shot up and a victory. Bartlett, and there's the tank now going down. The M44 is out of the picture. Time with the ram damage. Dark God Zim gonna pick that one up though. And now the Django finding static. Just 4 tanks remain for Elevate. Now 3. rival doing a fantastic job with the focus fire here in this battle. Out-tanking Elevate. G-Forces, though, getting 2 kills, clawing their way back up. That is exactly what Elevate needed in this fight. Now, HK is the focus. G-Forcer is almost there. If he gets a nice shot here, he'll take him down. There it is, the Django fight. Elevate. Will it be high voltage? It seems like we have now a bit of a calm as the storm has settled down here. G-Forcer getting tracked around the corner. Anvil coming around, taking a shot, picking up G-Forcer. It is now a 2-2 to Killzor with Amor Lee. Noble and the railroad fight has continued. Akula getting a nice ram damage and the shot for Young Money Cash Money. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the WGLNA Season 1 Gold League. I am your host, Christian Toma. To my left is David Williams. Make sure to check us out on Facebook and YouTube, /WGLNA. As always, guys, if you're not watching this on battleviewer.com, go over there right now and check it out. And finally, follow us on Twitter @WGLNA so you guys can stay up to date on what's happening in the community around you.
You can also take a look at the question of the day.
Yep.
Just who is your choice for league MVP?
Okay, so now this might just be a very knee-jerk reaction, but the first person that comes to mind is someone I'm pretty sure who's had highlight reels, if not every week, almost all the weeks. It's going to be Ox Mathis. I mean, seeing the man in the artillery god of the season so far. Also, him in a tier 8, he can play anything well. Ox Mathis it is for me. David, what about you?
Ox is certainly a great player.
Yeah.
And I think he's worth considering
Great.
for the overall position.
Cool.
But there's a number of players throughout the league who both play and call, both on very high levels.
Sure.
And really out of the overall list, you've got, I say, let's just distill it down to the top. You'd have like Rude Awakening, It would be Arclit, to Killzor, and to some extent Wallhacks, who also does calling. I'm not sure he rises to the top in overall gameplay.
Okay.
And as much as it kills me to say this, I'm going to have to go with the Killzor for MVP.
All right, well, there you go. There's our answers. Go ahead and let us know what yours is. Right now, though, ladies and gentlemen, our first matchup of the night is going to be Maple Freedom versus Lamp. On the side of Maple Freedom, we've got Out of Sight. On the side of Lamp, Star Shield. Gentlemen, welcome to the face-off.
Oh, there you guys.
Good, doing good. Out of Sight, going to go ahead and start with you, sir. Nice haircut, by the way. It looks good. Now, talking about Maple Freedom, we're ending the season, 8th week. What has been your guys' favorite moment so far of this season?
I'm going to go back to a tradition we started in Silver League. Every game that we've won this season, so, the one game, we had this little tradition where we sing a song by the Vega Boys. It's like a Brazil song.
Okay.
And so that's one of our
highlight
top moments.
That's awesome. Well, that's a great memory to hold for sure. And next time you sing it, I think you should sing whenever, win or lose. You guys just always sing it.
Get a recording of it sometime and overlay it with a video and then post it up. Maybe
we'll put this on for sure.
All right, so we're gonna be asking both of you guys the same questions here, but genuine answers here.
Yeah.
Out of Sight, if you could choose a team mascot, who or what would it be?
I'm gonna have to go with one of our old teammates, Vio. He's the inspiration for the team, I guess.
So it's a person.
Yeah.
Great. Oh, that's a fantastic mascot indeed. Thank you for those answers. Out of Sight. Starshield, gonna go over to you. And the same thing I'm gonna ask to you as I did to Maple Freedom. If you look back, Lamp, at the season so far, what has been your favorite moment?
I'd probably have to say, just because of the giggles we got out of it, the Himmelsdorf match against Artie, the first one, just to get things out of our system, just to be stupid.
The KV5.
But it was fun.
Yeah. You guys performed beautifully.
The match was pretty great. I'd probably, if I were you, I probably would have gone with the Synergy match with that Lakeville rush.
Oh my
and
goodness.
fight breast cancer versus person who will not be named
beautiful as
for
well.
his own sake. All right. Yeah, if you could choose a team mascot, who or what would it be?
That one's very easy. Consequences, one of our teammates from last season, mostly because he just has this completely blank, dumbfounded but innocent look on his face like a sad little puppy. So he just kind of fits the role. And if you wanted to just top it off, take Halo's Christmas tree from last season and let him hold that up.
A man holding a Christmas tree. That sounds like a fantastic logo indeed. Hopefully we can produce that. You can show that on the show. Gentlemen, start with you. Out of sight, any words to Starshield before we go into the match?
Good luck.
All right, Starshield, your response.
Wow, someone that says less than me. That's amazing. Same thing. Best luck. Hope to see you in the match.
There we go, gentlemen. Best of luck to both of you. We'll see you guys shortly. All right. That sounds like a fantastic logo indeed. Just a guy, innocent puppy face with a Christmas tree. That should be like my Christmas card. I'm gonna send it to everyone. They even have no idea what it means.
Still think Jay Smooth is the best team mascot answer. I mean, Kenny Loggins, how can you beat it?
You can't. You just can't. Ladies and gentlemen, let's pull up now the rosters for both these teams, both inside of Maple Freedom and the side of Lamp. David, anything before kind of the last time we'll be seeing these people for this season? Anything popping out?
I think at this point everybody knows who the star players are. We see a lot of Morphic out of sight, Mr. Man performing for Maple Freedom. For Lamp, it's all over the place. Sometimes you get an aggressor, sometimes it's Baby Halo, sometimes it's fight breast cancers. He's made the highlight reel the most, so
yep.
It's debatable. Oh, but if you're going for fantasy points, it's Smiley Rage.
Okay, there you go. So hopefully get them on very quickly if you guys still have time. Now, looking, both of these teams, David, are not going to make the playoff. It's impossible for them to make it this season. So right now, they're just playing for gold. They're playing for fun. And I'm actually kind of excited to see this. I'm excited to see what both of these teams pull out here. Really, I mean, they got nothing to lose. We will see some crazy plays, and we'll get some more highlight material. But if you were these teams, you're looking at it, do you think the lack of stress is going to make any perform better, or do you think maybe just what are your opinions on this match?
That's a good question, and it gets into a territory we've covered a number of times about different teams just handle things differently. Some teams, some teams would take it as no stress, and now is the time to shine. Now is the time that they're to prove that they shouldn't have gotten this point. And I think Lamp is one of those teams, considering they got a late start to their season, but they very well could have been higher in the brackets.
That's true. Ladies and gentlemen, our first matchup is ready for you guys. Maple Freedom versus Lamp. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
So for Maple Freedom, we have a T-32, an RU-251, 4 T-54 lightweights, and a T-37 on the defensive side of steps. For Lamp, on offense, 2 T-32s, 4 T-54 lightweights, and a 59-16.
All right. Now, by the way, when I did say they were playing for gold, I hope I said in-game gold. These teams are playing for actual, real-life gold. That would be very impressive indeed, and it would make me want to definitely join their team.
Be right back, going back to being a player.
There you go. We're playing for real gold here. Here we go. Look like a boost coming out there from Maple Freedom. All right, now Lamp pushing on the way through. Let's see, will he make it? That is the question. On up there nice and slow and steady. Looks like the turrets are turning. Giggles making sure no one's going to find it. He has made it. Good. Nice and safe there up there. Fantastic. Push up on the side for Maple Freedom, getting a nice little spot there in that A9 area. And over on the side of Lamp, we got Super Destructo. Taking a little positioning, not going quite on top of the hill. He's going to go ahead and push over the railroad. No, he's going to go on spot now. Now going through here, David, on steps for both of these teams and their play styles, who do you think you'd give the edge to right now?
I'm going to have to give the entire match an edge to Lamp. Now, Maple Freedom can play well. They have a certain amount of talent on their team, and they have a lot of the makings, the trappings of what it takes to be good. They just don't have as much experience as a lot of other teams do. Meanwhile, Lamp took second last season, and there's just an overwhelming amount of talent on that team. And it just depends on what exact strategy they're running at the time as to whether they can really fulfill that dream. But when they get into the rush, they might be one of the better teams around. Last time I saw them do it, I was actually recently going over the footage for the Synergy match. Super Destructo, Tyrannosaur,
great name,
just ran straight through two of his teammates in the T-54 and took a shot right in between both of them for a kill shot that it was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. It wasn't very far away, but still, it's something like how they play those aggressive situations gets to a level of borderline recklessness, which is already kind of reckless to push in that situation, right?
Right.
But they play it in a way where if everything goes well, it's very hard to beat them. If you're a more disciplined team, a team that tries to really focus on focus fire and some of those other things, the freestyle play that Lamp brings can get underneath and start doing more damage than you expect and really tear away with it.
So maybe if they didn't have quite a little bit of hiccup they had in the beginning. They could have been one of those teams really contesting for the top spot.
With their current play, I don't know about top spot. I mean, Refuse, Elevate, and High Voltage all play very, very well. Actually, I think I misspoke during the pre-show saying that Refuse was one of the only teams that was guaranteed a playoff spot. That's not true. Elevate, a number of others are as well. We'll get into that. But Refuse is almost guaranteed a playoff bye, and that's what I was trying to say at the time.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, with those teams, they're all on another level, and I'm not sure Lamp is there yet. But they certainly stand a chance of beating anyone in the league if their aggressive play style kind of rustles people or throws them off.
Okay.
Then they can convert. But teams like High Voltage, Elevate, Refuse, and the way Simp played last time we saw them actually, all tear apart that kind of rush. The only way to beat those kinds of teams is to play on the highest level. No gimmicks, no weird strategies, no new strategies. You have to meet them head to head.
Solid.
If you really want to beat them consistently. Otherwise, any match result is more likely than not just a result of the other team throwing it and making mistakes.
All right. Now, is there a certain style of play that Lamp might be able to pull off? And that's another way with Cap going down to 18 seconds there. Lamp putting two members. So they're trying to find the reset. The shots going for Maple Freedom. Now dropping down to 9. It's actually getting extremely low. Maple Freedom need to get this reset quickly. Looks like Felix moving in the T54. He's even going to try to do it. 3 seconds down the clock. He just has to find a spot. Giggles and Smiley Rage duking out there something. Finally, a lot of shots. Beautiful focus fire for Maple Freedom. Going up with Smiley taking down that T37. Giggles in a lot of trouble. He has to get there, but Bobby picking up Star Shield on top of the Cap. A tank down for both the teams. Now Felix should be going down any second. Smiley Rage picking that one up, and it looks like Lamp is going to say forget the Cap. Super Destructive on Fight Breast Cancer. Kind of doing a little dance there. Fight taking a shot from behind. Looks like Bobby will be responsible for that. Nice little reset. Lamp coming out, though, slightly ahead as far as tanks. HP slightly in favor of Maple Freedom. Striking another shot there, making his way back. And then I kind of remember what I was going to say there, but Lamp's style of quick play, how they do that rush, they kind of look for that chaos. Is there, is it possible for a team to always play that way, or is there a certain, you got to have a little bit of both. You got to have a little bit of like jack of all trades in your repertoire to be able to be a formidable team this season.
You absolutely have to be able to play both ways.
Okay.
Playing very aggressively, the only way you can do that consistently is to bring a rounded meta-style gameplay, and you have to be inventive all the time. It's one of the things that we struggled to do on my team in the past, and there's definitely a final point where you can no longer do it anymore. I think we're getting close to that with this season's meta already, but it just comes down to people expecting you to do that rush and setting up nice camps to wait for you to come. So you have to do it in a way where them doing that is what you want. But get that last minute to 10, and there's a fight already developed.
That's why 5 press guys are going down. Bobby picking that one up again from the side. Another Team 4 dropping, but Mort, a T32 taking down one of his own. Out of sight, fighting Super Destructo. Fights going back and forth here across the map. And now Mr. Man can be looking for Bobby again with another kill. 3 kills so far for Bobby this round. Invade. He's driving by, trying to take some shots as much as he can there on that T54. Keeps on running. Smiley looks like he's been sent to shut down Bobby, or maybe JD Banjo Man. Mr. Man taking a shot there, backing up, finding some cover behind that rock, and more damage coming across. One more shot in that T54, and he will go down, but Aggressor still taking damage there, right behind the camera. Smiley Ray just making the shot, just missing Mr. Man, and Bobby finding Aggressor. Another kill, 4 in that T54. Let's see where this keeps on going. 2 to the side of 3 now. Lamp looks like they might be going down here. Another shot going through. Invade getting extremely low. One more shot. He will go down. Smiley duking it out over on the right with JD Banjo Man. One more shot for both these things, and they'll pick it up. Maple Freedom looks like they're going to pick up the first victory here on the steps. Bobby, I believe, having 5 kills, an insane amount there. And Maple making now 1-0. Our first matchup of the night. And they look like kind of a very standard thing we've seen. Teams going for that northern cap, taking that pressure. They got very close, got in about 3 seconds. Maple doing a good job getting the spots they needed and not taking enough punishment there. Was there any highlights you saw from that match? Anything that popping out as a fantastic plays, or just kind of what we've been seeing?
It's a pretty standard match all around, but
yeah.
there's some trends to discuss in stats for sure.
All right, well, let's check out those stats.
Smiley Rage, that is a large amount of damage, a large amount. Like I said, this man is good for the points. 2876.
My goodness.
Out of 12 penetrations. As you can see, Super Destructo and Star Shield pretty much got wrecked along with FBC while on Cap trying to fulfill that. Meanwhile, for Maple, it's a lot more spread out. Mr. Man, out of sight, and Bobby, all 2K or very close to it. Bobby getting 5 kills overall.
Yeah, that was it.
Woo. And 100 reset points. Oh, no, sorry, that's Mr. Man got 100 reset points. Bobby just got the 5 kills. Both of those guys would be worth a boatload of points in fantasy right now, which, you know, we want to talk about. We want to talk about earlier, you know, how much does this match mean? Well, I'll tell you, to some people, to some of our fans who also play the fantasy league, it's worth a lot.
It
matters
a
lot. This is who determines who wins the Golden Jet, right?
That's the theme of the night. Hashtag Golden Jet. But like you said, I mean, a lot of points there coming up for Bobby. Did you put Bobby on your team? Because if you would have.
Nope.
Oh,
people right now are probably looking at my team, and it is crazy. I put everything on the second and third match. Everything.
Wow. Well, let's see if that will pay off for you. But unfortunately, we're not there yet. Right now, we've still got our second battle, our first matchup of the night. Maple Freedom up 1-0. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got this time for our tanks.
For Maple Freedom, we have a T-32, an RU-251, 4 T-54 lightweights, and a T-37. For Lamp, 2 T-32s, 4 T-54 lightweights, and an M6.
Ooh.
I really don't know what that's doing here.
Okay.
Wait. No, I know what it's doing here. It's actually very obvious what it's doing here. It is just a gigantic Tier 6. Probably. Would not surprise me if it's the largest Tier 6 they can bring that has, within reason, like it has enough speed and whatnot. My guess is Lamp's going to use it to block the one cap and put some 54s behind it and try to really brute force that cap down.
Look at these shots going out for Lamp. Just a victory rush as they're all moving into war. Their turrets are raised. They're excited for this battle. I think they're very confident that this new strat is going to work out for them, David.
Yeah, it's a very good chance that it won't. I'm going to be honest.
I have faith.
The size of the block is nice and all, but there's too many angles. And one thing that Maple did very well last time was spread out along the eastern line and get all of the angles they needed. But Star Shield in the M6. The tank is a lot better looking than last time I looked at it, honestly.
Looks good.
Maybe
a little upgrade.
I'm just losing it.
Is that maybe changing your perspective on if this is going to work or not?
No, the M6 is just a box of hit points ready for the taking. Okay. Whoever wants this thing will kill it. What it's going to be the entire trick for Lamp here is how to get it on cap alive.
Well, I guess, like we were talking about, where Maple Freedom is set up, it really is pushing the kind of barrier that you can even see. So they sneak it back there, maybe going to the far end, just take it to the C line, then push it straight across. I'd be able to get in there without them viewing out.
You are exactly right. Exactly right. Using the view range to slip it on the cap through the, essentially what is the northwestern side. Okay. It's pretty much the only way to get that thing on there reliably.
Yeah.
And like I've said a couple times before, people with more experience than you have missed things less complex than that. So congratulations.
Hey, any sort of praise we get from you makes my entire week. Mr. Man, take some shots, having it back out there. And Vade, good job. Top of the hill, very classic spot. We see TP4, some RT51s get to Veggie, 240 points of damage. Now I'll be interested to see, right? Because if Maple Freedom cannot successfully reset whatever cap that Lamp is putting on there because of that M6, if Maple Freedom is going to respond the same way they did last time, I feel like maybe Lamp might have a good chance of predicting the angles at which Maple Freedom are coming from and have a good response for that. Because if they have to go a certain way, if they can't just reliably reset it from where they are going to need to put those members close. So they are going to put themselves maybe potentially in harm's way. And it'll be interesting to see how Lamp can respond to this. Or really, Maple Freedom, once they find out what's
there certainly is a chance that it can work. It just shouldn't work.
All right.
Exactly. Mostly because the rear door will be wide open for Giggles if he hits the exact shot that he wants. But Smiley Rage is actually already floating out there to make sure that can't happen. Maple is doing something smart, though. They're already sending a number of light tanks around to guarantee that they're able to get around the M6 and reset. And strangely, you know, if Lamp actually wasn't so dead set on this cap, and they balled up and pushed over the eastern side, so grouped all their tanks and pushed over the eastern side, they would find a very strong overmatch. But that's kind of a next level meta kind of thing that, well, I wouldn't say is out of the question for teams like this. Fight Breast Cancer about to intercept 254s in the middle, and this could already spell the end for Lampus. That is too much firepower.
Might get ugly. The first shot bouncing. Fight Breast Cancer getting another shot there. Veggie taking down Starshield, so that M6 is out of the fight. He is now just a shield. Let's see how long Fight Breast Cancer can hold these two T-54s. Looks like not much longer. His shot is ready. 287 going into him. 241. JD Benjamin picking that one up. A nice little battle buddy system from Felix and JD there to find the second tank of the match. Maple still having 7. Lamp just has 5. Smiley Rage running on the side. Aggressor coming in. They're going to try to find a slide over match where they can. One more shot into Felix and he will go down. Let's see who's going to pick it up. It's going to be Smiley, but he is dangerously low himself. Giggles locked on that tank. JD Benjamin, though, going to pick it up. Aggressor now dropping way below half health here. One more shot. He should go down there. JD, another kill there. Giggles beating up, finding the matchup. Now 4 tanks coming on top of 4. He's in a lot of damage. The cap has not gone well for Lamp here. They're going to find another kill. Mr. Man picking that one up. Invade running to join. Looks like just going to turn to an Elven Graveyard there right in the center. 461 immediately. Another shot going through, not connecting. He is on the run, but just 2 tanks remain. We got Super Destructo. Looks like he's fighting over the side against Out of Sight, who's still on top of the hill. And Invade there against 6 members of Maple Freedom. David, like you're saying, Lamp possibly could have had an overmatch. Unfortunately, they were so dead set on that cap.
It looked like they made the right read just way too late. If they had used that as a solid trap to pick up 2 tanks in the middle, not that they could have predicted that because they're not fortune tellers. That there would be exactly 2. They could have predicted there would be tanks coming. But either way, I think a little bit of refinement on a strategy like that can certainly work. There we go. Invade going down to Giggles, T-37.
That's right. Maple picking up another victory now, making it 2-0. Invade actually doing a good job kind of evading a lot of damage there in the end, but he did go down. And Dave, kind of talk to me a little bit more about what you're saying about if that strategy was perfected, how it could work out. Is that assuming that the team is going to send those multiple tanks for the flank because they have to do it, and then once you notice that, then pushing over?
Yes. Okay. So having some sort of trigger out there to make sure that when they send that amount of tanks, you can go someplace else.
Okay.
Again, it's something that get very complex to discuss, and honestly, you know how I am. I want to make sure I give an accurate answer or the right answer, right?
Absolutely.
So I could spitball a strat right now, a strategy that probably
that might work.
But I never immediately go with my gut. I want to refine it a little bit before I talk about it.
We'll talk about it later.
That doesn't make any sense. We can go to statistics just for a second.
Let's do it.
Just for a second. Only one thing to point out. Literally everybody on Maple Freedom is over 1,000 damage.
Good for that. Look at that spread.
So that is mostly props to Giggles for 1,000 damage in T-37.
T-37.
Woo. Nice.
All right. Well, that's a good stats to look at.
One thing I noticed. Well, we had the time. So checking out which gun the T-32s are bringing. Both T-32s in that battle, actually all T-32s in that battle, I should say, were running the 90mm over the 105mm. So it's debatable. It kind of depends on the situation. If you're going to be, it's a higher DPM gun, more accuracy.
Just
debatably the better gun.
Okay.
Less alpha damage. The 105, it just kind of depends. Teams have different preferences. We had strategies where we ran the 90 and strategies where we ran the 105. Most of the time we left it to the T-32 driver to choose what weapon he wanted to run with because it's his, right? So we tell him, here's your job. Pick whatever gun you want, right? So a lot of people went with the 90 mils. Some people went with the 105. Just alpha versus DPM, basically.
Okay. And now you're saying in that fight that we just saw Maple Freedom bring it, they chose the right gun to bring for the T-37?
Yeah, I would say definitely on defense, the 90 mil is the better one. You're firing more often, so that way you have a better chance to reset.
Cool.
Which is what you're after, right? You don't really need to worry about the overall damage. If anybody comes into a brute force fight and they want to try and focus you down as a T-32, that's why you're there.
Right. Take the shot from the higher tier tank.
But if they don't, then the high DPM on the 90 mil is going to
punish
a problem.
So
on steps, in this situation, it is definitely a very valuable tank. On offense, that's where it gets debatable.
Okay.
Because while it is more accurate, the 90mm is more accurate, the 105 is more likely, or it does higher damage more often.
Okay.
So if you're dealing with a defensive player, you're probably only going to hit him a couple times.
Gotcha.
So you probably want those to do more damage. But again, like I said, it's
gets so into it, so complicated. Well, we'll say that for another time. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, our third battle going on our first match. Maple Freedom up 2-0. We've switched sides. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
Maple Freedom now on offense with an IS-3, 2 T-32s, 3 T-54 lightweights, and an M44.
Hey.
Lamp on defense with a T-32, 5 T-54 lightweights, and an AMX-12T.
Right on the M44. And one of the things we have been seeing is a really good tank to bring if you are on offense on steps to break the defense that Lamp might be trying to pull here.
This is already interesting. No boost coming out of Lamp.
Nope.
And they are headed to the southeast, which is smart. The lineup that Maple Freedom is bringing can go either way, as we've discussed a number of times, right? But it is better. It is a very strong lineup in the southeast if you can get it there. You have 2 T-32s for the hull down, the IS-3 to peek around the corner of berms. It's a lot of fire with the T-54s added in for flank control and a lot of the faster moves you want. It's a lot of damage in a short amount of time. And this is what I would be most concerned about if I were on Lamp's side, trying to get this scouted. Because if they're in the northwest, whatever. I mean, they have to get their way. They have to fight all the way there. It's just not as big of a concern as going east.
Sure.
And Lamp is already expecting it. They've done a proper scout in the northwest with Aggressor. He got nothing, so he's flanking around behind already. He doesn't need to see anybody else. The odds of a camping trap in the southwest are essentially 0.
Okay.
And he can probably pick up the M44. Out of sight, JD Banjoban will have to clean him up, which leaves the rest of these guys fairly isolated for Lamp to dump everything they have on there, should they choose to do it. But realistically, especially with it where Invade is there in the back, they're just going to wait, see what Maple Freedom's move is, try and get an isolation and close it out. And it's certainly possible for Lamp to do it, but I think right now they're almost missing an opportunity.
Okay.
It depends on how much response to Aggressor there in the back, which we will see very soon. He's working his way through the rocks as we speak. It actually doesn't look like he's trying to get through them. It looks like he's just trying to be able to assist the T-32s. From where he is now, he can fire all the way across that field and shoot them. So for as long as they're stationary, or just, you know, they now have to push into Lamp. Maple Freedom can just sit back, or sorry, Lamp can just sit back and wait for Maple Freedom to either die from all these shots from Aggressor or go over. This right here is essentially living the dream in a 54 lightweight, but Maple Freedom chooses the third option, bringing their 54 lightweights to come find whoever is doing that and put him in the grave.
Here we go, Bobby, JD Banjoban, and outside looking for Aggressor. They're pushing on him. Let's see how he can get it out of it. Let's look like he's going to be able to go anywhere. 2 shots going in, 3, 910 damage, and that T-54, just 221 left. He surely will go down. Baby Halo going down as well. Veggie picking that one up, and this looks like it's a fight that Lamp wanted. Now pushing and trying to find the overmatch. It's a 4v3 right now. Can Maple Freedom respond in time? 2 tanks already down for Lamp, and it's not looking good as Smiley takes another chunk of damage. Super Destructo finding Felis, the first tank for Maple Freedom falling, but Lamp extremely unhealthy. Mr. Man finds Invade. Another kill going across the side of Maple Freedom. Mort now taking damage from JD and Bobby from across the view, right where Aggressor was. One more shot. This guy's over there, but he's going to take Mort down. Mr. Man finding another kill. Now just 2 tanks remain. Looks like Maple Freedom is going to pick up another victory. Bobby taking down Fight Breast Cancer on the run, and now the tank's chasing Super Destructo. He is driving, shooting while he drives. Let's see if he can make any shots connect. Going over the berm there, jumping down. JD Banjoban taking some damage, out of sight, flying over the top. 450 points, getting tracked, but finding the kill. A beautiful pickup there. Style points going out for Maple Freedom, who have now increased the victory 3-0. Congratulations. That was a fun little jump.
Gonna need the replay on that one.
That's right.
Maple Freedom, because
bring it to us.
We want to see that
Woo.
in higher def from an even better angle than we got. So Maple Freedom right now is out to play. They want this. They're doing much of what they need to do. Lamp not executing whatsoever. You know, I gave it to Lamp at the beginning because they should, by all means, be doing better than they are right now.
Okay.
But Maple Freedom is showing true to the colors that of their potential, what they could have done all season.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can do this against some of the better teams as the nerves really set in, but just like Rival, they have all the trappings of being a good team. Just some little intangible things are not shining through for them. The irony of what just happened there is amusing to me because Aggressor was in the back firing on the 32s, right? Which forced a significant response from Maple Freedom, probably too much of one.
But
it took
tanks.
Lamp a little bit too long to get over the hill to get that isolation. In the meantime, Maple's 54s that were over killing Aggressor didn't even bother to drive back. They're like, well, we know we have shots from here.
We can shot here
directly
too.
on where our 32s were. So we'll just.
Oh no!
Tables have turned. You think
Lamp's
it's an isolation,
like,
but
hey,
instead,
thanks, Lamp. This is
instead
great.
you're all just pouring over the hill directly into our firing solution, which you just showed us is here. So
that is
thanks,
ironic.
guys.
That is
GG,
ironic indeed.
Game 3.
No, ooh, nice rhyme there. But like we were talking about, Maple Freedom, we interviewed Out of Sight earlier on, and he was saying how they really did want to show, they really did want to prove that they were. They could go against top teams. They did make it for to Gold League for a reason, and they are showing that right now as they are up 3-0 against Lamp. Ladies and gentlemen, our next battle is here. Let's see if they can make it 4-0, or if Lamp can just claim one victory on our first map up. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
Maple Freedom with an IS-3, 2 T-32s, 3 T-54 lightweights, and an M44 again. Lamp with 6 T-54 lightweights and AMX-12T.
Yeah.
This is a precursor to just a rush.
Chaos.
I mean, it's going to be like a 12T Scout followed by 6 T-54s on somebody's face, and they will not enjoy it. The question is, can they hold strong enough? The M44 is now a liability in the situation. The IS-3, the 2 T-32s make up quite a bit. There's a 530 hit point advantage directly on Maple Freedom's side right off the bat. If Giggles connects with anybody for a penetrating shot in the beginning of this battle, he will more than make up for his lack of being a T-37 or a 12T.
Okay.
Could, at least. Should, I would even say.
Oh man, look at Maple deciding they saw the lineup. They do not want to push out at all. Well, wise choice on their behalf.
Yes. Well, they're buying time for their heavies to drive east. So they're holding positions where they can see things, just waiting for their heavies to go.
Giggles already going down Baby Halo in that 12T. A beautiful pickup there. And Lamp continuing the pressure. Invade driving right down the center. Fight Breast Cancer, really the only one not moving. As the rest of Lamp pushing in, surrounding Maple Freedom here. This is going to be interesting indeed.
Yeah, this is this right here is why traditionally you don't bring so many heavies on offense, or really at all. You can kind of get away with a couple heavies on defense, but because of the mobility. So what they have to do is leverage a cap pressure situation, force Lamp to come to them without taking too much damage in transit, or there's pretty much no hope for them to win. But as it is right now, they haven't taken too much. They're still in this match. Lamp now has to come to them and deal with heavies in close proximity. And 2 of those are T-32s, which are no slouch on this map.
Well, here we go. Looks like this is the response from Maple Freedom, putting 3 members on cap, putting that pressure through. Let's see how Lamp can respond. Fight Breast Cancer and Smiley just over here looking for the shot. Aggressor, Mort jumping in fast. Super Destructo. Looks like he's not even going to hit the brakes. Driving right over the hill, taking a shot onto Felix. He actually gets connected with 553 points of damage there. Out of sight, taking damage from the back, and now Lamp collapsing in on these members of Maple Freedom. They are a takedown fort, finding JD Benjamin, another tank falling to the side of Maple Freedom. Now 7 on 5. The push for Maple Freedom going through. It is going to be who has better focus fire, whose shots count. Mr. Man taking Super Destructor down. Veggie falling to invade. It looks like Lamp is going to pick up a victory if they can continue this domination here. Fight Breast Cancer, 712. Going low. One more shot, and he should go down here. Now they have switched sides. Lamp back on the defense onto their own cap. Out of sight, down the valley. Aggressor pushing through. Aggressor should find this kill. There it is. A T-54 going down, but Mr. Man responding by taking Fight Breast Cancer out of the fight. Baby Halo's still alive in that 12th team, tracking Felix. Mr. Man lining up the shot. The nice little shoot there. It's not going to be enough there. Mr. Man letting that one fly right into Baby Halo's face. Mr. Man, though, taking some in his IS-3, but just Felix and himself remain for the side of Maple Freedom. Lamp having 4 members. They should pick this one up, claiming a victory here onto this matchup. Finally, one onto steps here. Aggressor finding Mr. Man, now just Felix in the T-32 being surrounded. Invade, Smiley, Mort, all taking the shots, and there's the victory. Lamp picking up 1, making it 3-1 before we go into our next map there. Now, David, looking at that, explain to me, why a team who is on defense wouldn't do what Lamp just did all the time. it worked for him there, and why did it work?
The T-32s for Maple Freedom were a little bit too slow.
Okay.
Lamp took a lot of good positions in order to get side shots on those 32s as they tried to crest over berms.
Okay.
Basically what it came down to is the cap pressure situation for Maple was not set up the way they wanted to. They neglected putting a tank all the way in the eastern spot behind that rock where we've seen Drynets play in his now somewhat infamous 2v1.
Yeah.
Timeout to Maple.
All right,
so they need 2 more in the overall situation. So as long as they
Nothing
settle down whatever happened and play the next map, which I believe is going to be Ghost Town.
Right.
And they'll be okay. In case anybody's wondering on stats, Felix led off for Maple, Invade, and Smiley Rage, both around 2,000 for Lamp. Nothing else really to note there.
Yeah.
So it just comes down to gameplay, actual gameplay and positioning. Generally being on that cap with so much and not having pre-established defensive situations is not good.
Okay.
If you're down in the bowl, you've given the opponent, in this case Lamp, the ability to surround you entirely with 54s. So if you go try and chase one, it's gone.
Gotcha.
And it's a lot of DPM, and you can't really, if you group up a bunch of people and you try and push one direction, everybody else will pop up on the corners of the bowl and shoot down at you. It's essentially the high ground. It's almost like Custer's. It's almost Custer's final stand in that situation.
Yeah, that's good.
And it just does, more often than not, it doesn't work out.
Okay, now the bowl that Maple Freedom was in there on that cap, how hard is it to see the tanks over on the other side? Is it easy to spot them, or is it kind of like they're all invisible until they pop over the top and take a shot at you?
Both.
Okay.
For the most part, for them to see you in order to get those shots, somebody has to poke, so somebody has to see things.
Gotcha.
So what ends up happening is technically both teams could be relatively invisible. A little bit more biased to the western side, has better camouflage, bushes, and terrain to hide behind, especially in T-54 lightweights. But in reality, in practicality, most of each team sees each other entirely, but the western side has a chance of having 1 or 2 tanks floating around as ghost tanks, essentially, where you don't really know where they are.
Okay.
But you don't need to know where they are. You know where they will go for the most part.
All right. Now another thing, if getting kind of that hypothetical territory, so don't feel free to not be able to respond with something perfect. If Lamp were to do what they just did last time, and instead of, obviously their lineup, I'm assuming, broadcast that pretty clearly to Maple Freedom. But if they were to do that, and the team who was on offense decided to be pushing up to the northern cap, and they ran right into those T-54s, who do you think would that just come down to just an overall brawl? Would that be more in the favor of the offense or the defense at that point?
With those with those lineups, I would have to say it would probably still go in Lamp's favor.
Really?
Because of the heavies at close quarters like that are not as good as the 54s. The T-32 will spend most of its time trying to find a shot.
Oh.
Just turning all the time too slowly. The IS-3 will be in a similar boat. 54s can get directly next to a 32 and actually use it as cover from the rest of the team. It's a situation with heavies. You have a specific goal in mind. You need to achieve that goal, and you need to usually achieve it from a further distance than that.
All right. Well, enough about theory crafting, ladies and gentlemen. We're into our next battle onto Ghost Town. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
Maple Freedom with 2 5100s, 2 IS-3s, a T-32, and 2 Tiger 1s on defense. Lamp on offense with 2 5100s, 4 T-54 lightweights, and the FV-304. This time, it's not fighting breast cancer in it. It's Baby Halo.
There we go. We'll see what he can do in this artillery here on the map now. Dave, like you're saying, Maple Freedom just needing 2 more. They took the timeout, and now they are on defense. So, slight advantage there going out for the defensive side. So let's see if they have anything sort of planned here to just shut down Lamp right here, right now, and not let Lamp get any more on him. And also on the other side, let's see how Lamp respond to this fight breast cancer. Super Instructor taking some shots out. They might have just been clearing something there, coming to catch up with the rest of the team. And Lamp, again, a very decisive push here, sending all their members over on the west side, just fight breast cancer and Super Destructo, kind of splitting off from the rest of the group. But looking at kind of what's going on here, if Maple Freedom were to apply cap pressure right now, I'm sorry, if Lamp were to go in through what they're doing, is this going to catch Maple Freedom out where they are, where they're set up?
Very likely, yes.
All right.
Right now, 15100 is lit for Maple. That's enough for them to know that this is coming if they think about it correctly. But, well, there we go. The jig is up now. All tanks, all 54s in the west have been spotted, and now Maple Freedom can simply adjust and lock them into the field. 54s can be a problem in this situation, though.
We've kind of talked about also, when you're a team, if you can manage to switch the map, as Lamp has done now, Maple Freedom looks like they are technically coming from the offensive side, and Lamp really are in the spawn right now of Maple Freedom. It could, really get to the head of the enemy. So let's see, like you're saying, if Maple Freedom just can think clearly and respond appropriately to what Lamp is doing, or if Lamp might be able to get under the skin of this defensive team here. 5 minutes and 14 seconds is all it took for Lamp to really switch around the sides. Shots going out, more connection on the side of Maple Freedom. They still are up in HP. Nice shots there. Fight Breast Cancer and Invader, the only ones who've taken damage from the side of Lamp. Fight Breast Cancer, 2 more shots in that 5100. A shot coming up from Baby Halo onto Felix. And that FB304, Fight Breast Cancer, 457 points of damage there. He has to back off. He decided to reload now. Super Destructo has his shots ready and waiting. More damage going on to JD Banjoman here. A very interesting fight developing indeed. Lamp really in no position to go for any of the caps. If they were going for center, they would take a lot of damage. If they go for the north, they'd take even more. So they're just going to sit here, David, and I'm assuming just try to poke at Maple Freedom for as long as possible. But if Maple Freedom are smart, I would just hide behind some buildings and obviously let Lamp push to you, because that's what they have to do. Am I right in assuming that, or is that still, would that be
more or less? Yes, you are definitely more correct than you are incorrect in this situation.
Yeah.
So Lamp wants them to back off to a certain extent so they can get closer. And with the amount of hit points that Maple Freedom has left, actually the gap is a lot larger than I would think. Apparently, yes, Fight Breast Cancer and Invade took a little bit more damage than I actually expected them to take in that situation. But Felix is down to about 400, along with JD Banjoman down around 800. Mr. Man keeps taking more damage. This situation is slowly but surely leaking more into Lamp's
they just took the HP
hands.
lead as well.
It's Baby Halo that is ripping them up with this FE304. That is...
what a tactic.
There is a certain genius to what's going on here. There are ways to shut it down, but this certainly has confused Maple Freedom. They need to get even further away from these spots than they think they do, I believe.
Oh man, this is also the Lamp that we've been seeing on Himmelsdorf and going to Ruinberg. Just some of these just crazy plays coming out, really messing with the enemy team and finding these picks where they can. Like you're saying, slowly but surely now Lamp is in the lead, increasing that about 600 now. And here comes a push. Looks like the trigger has been pulled for the side of Lamp. They're going over looking for Mr. Man. That I3, a couple more shots, and he'll go down. Aggressor taking it and actually bouncing. Morton and Vade going for giggles here. And now Smiley is coming to the top, and Vade finding Mr. Man. And I3 now down. Smiley fighting with JD Banjoman over in the southern cap. Fight Breast here coming to back him up over the side. Bobby getting extremely low. Super Destructo, 1,200 damage, but he finds Bobby, and Vade picks up giggles. Back-to-back kills there, and now Babenji finding Super Destructo. 6 members for Lamp are alive. 4 members for Maple Freedom. Now 3 as Fight Breast Cancer picks up JD Banjoman in the center. Now pushing onto that Tiger 1 out of sight. Should be going down here. Looking like he's saving that shot. Ford finds Felix. Just 2 tanks remain. Back-to-back kills there. And finally, Aggressor finding Benji. The dominoes continuing to fall. Lamp finding another victory against Maple Freedom onto Ghost Town. That was entertaining to watch indeed. Lamp slowly whittling Maple Freedom down and finally going, all right, we got him exactly where we want him. Boom, 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 boom. All the tanks gone. And that was, like you said, there was some sort of genius there. But highlight for me again, because you were saying how Baby Halo was the one who was really tearing him up. Does that show in statistics pretty clearly?
Yeah, we're going to stats.
That's what we're going. Let's go to stats.
Baby Halo.
BH.
15 shots, 17 direct hits and penetrations, and 6 splash damage, which on that tank, a splash isn't very much.
Okay.
So I can effectively say he hit 13 out of 15 shots, I believe.
Okay, wow.
For 1262. Pretty much the entire strategy came together because the FB304 was there to fire over the buildings from the place that he was. Smiley Rage and Fight Breast Cancer also up top. You know, when I was looking at this match to begin with, I thought it could go long, it could go short, but one of the bigger problems is who's going to get the points? You know, Maple Freedom, they pass around who does it, and Lamp does it the most, right?
All over the place.
If I had known they weren't going to play Fight Breast Cancer in the FE304, which he's been doing for a while, this would have been a much different decision to make because he's worth steady points when he's not.
Gotcha.
Him and Smiley Rage, that would have been a guaranteed too, but you know, whatever.
Fantasy.
Live and learn.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's true. Until the end of the season, maybe we can get prepped for maybe next season. But right now, I just want to kind of talk about what we just saw again, bringing out the idea that Lamp has been doing. When they do these crazy plays like this against teams, it really does mess with them. They really just kind of switch the meta on its head and find these pickups.
I wouldn't even call this one crazy.
It was
Lakeville push crazy.
Okay.
What they did on steps, kind of crazy.
But this wasn't
crazy.
All right.
This made a lot of sense in how they executed it. And you would have to be very put together to be able to stop it.
All right, well, there you go. Lamp picking up another victory. It is now Maple Freedom 3, Lamp 2. Let's get into Ghost Town. We are on the same side as last time. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
Maple Freedom with 2 5100s, 3 IS3s, a T32, and a T37. Lamp with 2 5100s, 3 T32s, T54 lightweight, and FE304. So whatever they did last time, they don't intend to do it again. They may go the same direction, or they may have a more direct middle kind of push lined up. Only time will tell in this instance, because Lamp has awoken. Notice this past 3 games they've played, past 3 matches I should say, were #RU, Synergy, now Maple, if I remember correctly. So against #RU, they lost a game, and then they turned it on. Against Synergy, they lost 2 games, and then they turned it on. Maple Freedom, they lost 3 games. So guys, let's go in the wrong direction, but Baby Halo, already dead. Press F to pay respects to that one.
A single shot going out there for Maple Freedom, taking down that FE304. Now whatever Lamp had planned to use with that tank, obviously now, whoop, that's out the window. So let's see how they can kind of recover from being a tank down. And if that FE304, if Baby Halo was supposed to do as much damage this time as last time, well, they just lost a huge chunk of their strategy.
Absolutely, that could be everything. Now, a lot of Lamp's advantage in last matches we already covered was the fact that they got to do the spotting and then just slowly whittle people down with Baby Halo's FE304.
Yeah.
This formation doesn't look like that was what they were banking on, but it would have been a nice little introduction because Maple Freedom has a boatload of hit points right now. 9274 versus 8700. It's crazy.
Yeah. Lamp's got a lot of HP to dig through before they find any sort of victories anywhere on the map unless they find significant overmatch or someone out of place. But how Maple Freedom's been playing tonight, I mean, they are on point. So I don't know if we're going to be seeing any sort of misplays come out from them. That's going to really be up to Lamp. Try to find any sort of opening that they can. Obviously looking for that northern cap. If I'm not mistaken, but he moved there. Definitely than last time where they completely switched sides. 4 minutes and 53 seconds on the clock. Maple Freedom is on defense. Shots going out between Veggie and Super Destructo. Nothing connecting on either side. I'll continue to count down, and David, looking at kind of what Lamp is doing. Not a lot of people moving. They did take Invade, that T32, push him more toward the north. Smiley Rage looks like he's going to actually reposition here. Where do you think he's headed?
He probably should head into the south-southwest. There's a chance he'll check out the middle cap, put some pressure on it in order to draw Maple Freedom out of their positions. And if you look at exactly where Lamp is positioning their tanks right now, they are largely biased into the northeast. So if they maintain this, what they could be doing, see with, they have adjusted a little bit already. 2 T32s, 5100, already in the northeast with another T32. If they had left Fight Breast Cancer up there, what we could have been looking at is exactly what we're seeing right now. And as soon as these shifts took place, where Invade is, all the way there in the back, if you brought Mort and both 5100s, you'd have 2 IS-3s dead, a number of other tanks. This is, again, from Lamp, the trappings of a very great strategy, but it's just not completely reasoned out yet, and it's not being executed perfectly, but it still has a very good chance of winning.
Man, and even you adapting this to losing that FE304 right away, obviously that definitely wasn't what Lamp was planning. Not like Baby Halo died in a very strategic position at all. So let's just see, doing a good job kind of readjusting to what they've got. Mr. Man taking a shot. And that IC, was that for Mort? That was a lot of damage going in there from that T32. 88 seconds now on the clock. Bobby sounded like he was getting trapped there. And now in the center, no one. They've decided to back off. Smiley Rage running back around, and the T54 out of sight, taking a shot. Super Destructor though, extremely low. One more shot. He'll go down out of sight, picking that one up. And now from the back, out of sight's getting picked apart by Aggressor. 4 more shots in that 5100, now finding Bobby. See his response going through. Felix in the T-37 could respond. 97 damage going across there. Let's see if Aggressor can save those 2 shots for him, or if he'll continue to take damage here. Felix doing a good job making Aggressor back off. 29 seconds is on the clock. Mort in that T-32, and Invade now joining the fight. Fight Breast Cancer, finding JD Banjoman, and it looks like this is the fight they're looking for. Aggressor, one more shot. Smiley Rage actually picking that one up, allowing Aggressor to save his final shot in that 5100. 17 seconds on the clock. Damage now going across there onto Invade. Giggles and Veggie going to be responsible for that. Mort still staying safe, but no, the shot resets the entire cap. Now it's up to Lamp to take down the tanks that are at their door. Aggressor finding Bobby. A good pickup there over in the city. And now Mort picking up Veggie. Just 3 tanks remain for Maple Freedom. It looks like they're going to be able to claw their way out of this one. They have definitely come back. They have definitely turned it on. Giggles extremely low, 521 in that IS-3. Let's see if we can find Invade before he goes down. Looks like he'll be able to do it. A shot lining up. Mort, unfortunately, not going to pick that one up. Smiley Rage running through, finding Mr. Man. One more shot, and he'll pick that one up. Giggles does find Invade. Mort finds Giggles. 5 Breast Cancer finds out of sight, and that'll be all she wrote. Maple Freedom now tied 3-3 with Lamp. Lamp picking up another victory there, and that was well played for Lamp. Again, losing Baby Halo so early on, unless that was some sort of mind play that I didn't see, or some crazy meta they're pulling as well. I don't think it was. Doing a great job coming back with just having 6 tanks against the 7 of Maple Freedom. David, you were kind of talking about how it was a great trap that Lamp had set up there. And Maple Freedom, I guess, just falling right into it.
Pretty much. Maple made a couple good decisions, trying to back off from what was the obvious flank that they needed to worry about.
Okay.
And instead turning and plowing a little bit through the middle road, picking up a T-32 pretty quickly. And from there is where things started to go a little bit more wrong. One thing that I noticed that was worth praise, Aggressor put 4 of his shots out, but he was being pestered by a T-37.
Yeah.
So he held his last 2,
just to take
which
care of
was
him.
enough to at least keep him scared. There's a chance he wouldn't kill him with him, obviously. So that allowed Aggressor to stay alive for the rest of the match. So statistical leaders for both sides. Giggles now to sight with around 1,300 or so for Maple Freedom. And then for Lamp, 2 T-32s, both of them 2,000 with Aggressor at 1,800, 5 Breast Cancer 1,600, Smiley Rage 1,100. Well, there you go. 5 Breast Cancer and Smiley lower than everybody else. Like I said, these teams are so
all
unpredictable when it comes to who's going to do the farming. But
yeah,
overall, yes, great actual tank-on-tank play by Lamp. And again, strategies that show some very good things for what they should be doing in the overall.
No, but now I think I'm kind of point out there. This might go way too far off of what we're talking about, but Maple Freedom have already used their timeout. So if they are starting to go on tilt, or if as we're seeing, Lamp might just be absolutely on fire. They have no way of kind of cooling that down here. But back to what we were talking about, because the match is starting, ladies and gentlemen. We're about it's all tied up 3-3. Maple Freedom versus Lamp. We switch sides onto Ghost Town. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
It's about to get real one way or another. It's Maple Freedom with 2 5100s, 3 IS-3s, a T-32, and an AMX-12T. Lamp with 1 110, 2 5100s, 2 IS-3s, and a T-54 lightweight, along with an FE-304. Okay, so perhaps they can get the FE-304 alive again. Or keep it alive.
Or maybe it's just supposed to die.
Then it can add a lot. But they are on defense this time. That is Lamp on defense with the FE-304. So it'll certainly defend the northern cap. But it shouldn't have too much of an effect. In the actual tank-on-tank battle, if we get into one, the 2 cap, so the middle cap can also be reset by the FE-304 from right angles, no problem.
Right. And now, the speed of the FB-304, where Baby Halo's heading now, it looks like it's going to that northwestern side. Just going to set up, obviously going for that northern cap pressure the most. But how quickly can Baby Halo, reposition down, maybe where it needs to be J5, J6, and effectively set up the ability to take those shots in the center cap? I mean, is that time that's extremely well to is it time that can be used well, like better for Lamp than Maple Freedom?
Both teams can use the time effectively, but I would say the time in this instance actually goes more into Lamp's favor. They have a strong defensive position.
Okay.
By default, they have the FE-304 to reset. The general areas that they're in are very hard to assault, simply put. So Smiley Rage can get all the scouting he wants in. So the more this passes, Lamp isn't really going to move anywhere, but Maple Freedom has to have a setup, has to have some sort of trick to how they want to do this, which cap they're going to, how they're dispersing their tanks. These are all things that are much more important for Lamp to know than Maple Freedom, because Maple Freedom can pretty much assume where Lamp is right now, to a certain degree of certainty.
All right, before I was saying how maybe he might be able to go to the J5 or 6 area, that is definitely not what I meant. That'd be way too far for that. I mean, I guess he could. There certainly could get there. More focusing on the one line, maybe in the D or E section to get in that center cap. But right now, cap pressure has been applied for Maple Freedom. 3 members, Mr. Man, Giggles, JD Benjamin, are all on cap. The shot's going through onto Mr. Man, finding a little bit of reset. But let's see how Lamp can respond. If they can push in, a nice shot there from the FE304, resetting it, and JD, that was enough to scare him away. Baby Halo, just 7 damage onto Giggles is going to make Maple Freedom run from that center cap. Giggles getting dropped now below half health in that IS-3. A nice pickup for Lamp for sure, scaring them away from number 2. Maple Freedom now looking, what just happened there. Maple Freedom obviously very set on the number 2 cap, and they've wasted the time allowing Lamp with Fight Breast Cancer pushing even closer on them. And now Invade taking a shot onto Bobby. Another shot going through. He's extremely low in his AMX 5100, finding more and more of pack. And Smiley Rage picking up Felix. The 12T going down. And now Maple Freedom looks like they're trying to do anything that they can to find an overmatch. But Lamp is ready and waiting. Super Destructo coming around in the 110. JD Benjamin getting tracked. Invade finding Giggles the moment he pops around the corner. Aggressor fighting JD Benjamin. Veggie going down to Aggressor as well. 5 breast kids are fighting Bobby. Tanks falling left and right for the side of Maple Freedom. They have found every single tank this entire match, and they're continuing to find what they need. Out of sight now is the next focus, as well as Mr. Man. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to find a single tank, and Maple Freedom might clean sweep this one out of nowhere. This team has turned it on, ladies and gentlemen. They're showing that they are going to pick up this match, and maybe the entire victory for the night. Out of sight now being surrounded there. A nice ramp damage there for Mort to finish off the 5100. Lamp now increasing the victory 4-3 against Maple Freedom. Man, they just game after game after game. The moment they decide to start playing, man, they start playing. Maple Freedom seems not to have a single response for it. And it must be really difficult going against a team who can play so, sort of out of the box one match and then so precise and meta the next. Have you experienced things like that?
Like I've said before, yes. So
there you have it. There's the aggression right there.
Lamp is better at it than a lot of the teams that used to do it when I played.
Okay.
A number of the teams that used to do it when I played did it because they didn't know better or because they didn't have any other ideas.
Gotcha.
Deliberately. Lamp's version of it is an entirely different flavor, and it's a lot better. And it, like I said a number of times, they are the nightmare team to play for me. Almost anybody else, it's like, well, you know what to expect. You can study them. You learn some of their traits, things that make them successful.
Sure.
And you get to Lamp, and it's just like, well,
we got to
guess
this time.
Expect the unexpected. How is that even possible?
Yeah.
We can go to stats just for a moment to glorify somebody whose numbers are worth it. Although, I got to say right here, Ripperino. 3 zeros out of sight. Doing pretty well, though. Okay. Mort. Perfect 7 for 2909.
Woo!
Beastly IS-3 play. One of the shots he landed there at the end was very unlikely, so I will say. Invade, about 2,000 as well. Everybody else, pretty much what you'd expect.
Yeah. A nice damage there, but again, the nice damage coming from Lamp and just a nice play style, seeing them kind of just shift it up. Match after, or battle after battle. It kind of perplexes me after seeing this. Maybe we can talk about this later, why they aren't higher, because they're playing on such an amazing level. They have won 4 games in a row. Let's see if they can make it 5. Ladies and gentlemen, as we get into our next battle, 3-4. Let's see if Maple Freedom can tie it up on their side. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
Maple Freedom trying to tie this up and keep it alive with 2 5100s, 2 IS-3s, a T-32, and 2 Tiger 1s. Lamp trying to close it out for a 5-3 victory with 1-1-10, 2 5100s, 2 IS-3s, a T-54 lightweight, and the FE304.
Man, such a diverse lineup there coming out for Lamp. And David, looking back, looking at the last battle we just had, maybe bringing those Tigers, do you think there would have been a better tank for them to bring, or is that, is that all right how they use them?
The Tigers?
Yeah. Maple Freedom side. Bring the Tiger.
Yeah,
Tiger 1.
I'm thinking.
Oh, God. Yeah, David, those tanks with the Tiger 1.
Which one are those? Is that the new Japanese premium
new
tank?
Patch. New patch.
It's also kind of correct. Yeah, like I said before, a number of times, I'm always skeptical of the Tiger 1s. They have potential, but other than that, they're terrible. It's just a complete mess of a phrase to say.
Yeah.
You have to screen them into the battle, or you have to use them as a screen for somebody else to make them count. But for how much they cost, 7 points, you really need to make sure they are protected, ideally with something better than themselves. I mean, we saw them go head-to-head with 254s last time, and they got ripped up. Obviously, two tier 7s versus 2 tier 8s. But the thing is, and this is I've pointed out a number of times, just look at it. It's a box. It's a box.
You have to pop over the corner.
It's a terrible tank design. As soon as you poke around the corner, well, what does Pythagoras have to say about this? He has to say you're dead.
Yeah, that's what he said. I remember I said that in math.
Pretty sure he made a formula about it, right? Two
yeah,
Tiger 1s.
Just shows, yes, 2 Tiger 1s equals RIP. Equals press the F. Well, I mean, yeah. Well, so let's see if Maple Freedom, obviously, it didn't quite work out for them last time. Let's see if they can make it work out for them this time. Again, that spread defense coming out for Lamp Smiley down the J1 position, doing a little bit of a scouting run, not finding anyone yet. Maple Freedom very boxed up here, really focusing around the northern area of the city. If you were Lamp and you spotted all these members of Maple Freedom right there, all of them bunched up in the middle, would you change your setup slightly? Would you send Smiley somewhere else?
Looks like it's a trap. It looks like they're baiting them in deliberately. And they have caught them against the crane from 2 angles, now 3 angles, that have probably spelled death for Giggles 101X very soon here. Aggressor actually backing off earlier than he should have. Oh, never mind. I missed the tank. Aggressor knows best. Better.
Hashtag Aggressor
didn't want to get ripped up by the 5100. Super Destructo getting annihilated. Tiger 1s are in the fight. They pick up a kill. So, in this instance, they're working. I mean, that's tier 8. That pretty much means they've already proved their worth. They've defended Bobby well enough in a situation where Aggressor couldn't just poke out and help his 110 buddy put it down. So Super Destructo pretty much gone for nothing. Maple Freedom still playing a little bit more aggressively than they need to.
That's right.
They just put somebody on cap, but I mean, go for broke, I guess.
Wow, Bobby, they're taking a lot of damage. Five press gates are picking that one up. A 5100 for a 5100. And now Mort fighting with Felix over on the corner. Maple Freedom, though, deciding just to push with what they've got, trying to tie this one up. It is 6-6. Let's see if they have the overmatch. Aggressor is low, and he's on the reload, but that does not look good. Veggie even taking him down. Maple Freedom finding another pickup. Five press cancer looks like he's going to go as well. Veggie and Giggles join the fight, shooting five press cancer from the side. One more shot, he'll go down. Giggles picks that one up, but outside getting extremely low. Felix going down on the side of Maple Freedom any second. Now one more shot, no Smiley range. Gonna pick that one up. It is now a 5-on-4 in favor of Maple Freedom. Invade extremely low. One more shot, and that IS-3 will bite the dust. Let's see if they can pick him up before he finds safety. Veggie looking like he's gonna be the one to try to pick it up in that T-32. Can he find it? He takes a shot. Nothing connects, and he takes damage himself. JD Benjamin gonna be the cleanup there. And now Mort running for his life, trying to back around the corner with 3 members coming for him. Smiley Rage, though, meanwhile, picking up out of sight. Baby Halo in that FE304 running for his life. Mort is tracked. He will go down. Giggles picking that one up. And now it is just Smiley Rage and Baby Halo against a T-32, 2 IS-3s, and a Tiger 1. Maple Freedom looks like they're going to pick up this victory and tie up our first match of the night. A very explosive.
If they want to do that, they should put 3 on cap as quickly as possible. If they spend too much time chasing around Smiley Rage, they could slip through their fingers super quickly. Okay, you got me. There's a situation in which the Tiger 1s work. I mean, yes, if you have to go against a 5100 that literally doesn't have enough shells to kill you both, it's going to do great. And again, pretty much anything will, but something with high DPM in that situation, perfect. I mean, it's a dream situation for the Tigers.
Okay.
They probably could have actually gotten both 5100s if they had stepped up a little bit more boldly, but they can't see what we see, so they didn't know that one of them was reloading.
They did. So they did good with what they got. 10 seconds now on the clock. Minute and 50. Smiley Rage definitely can't reset that one in time. He's going to try his darndest to rack up any sort of fantasy points that anyone might be betting on him. What a guy. Oh, never mind. As I say that, he's got
363 damage.
Just to hide. Cap going down to 0. Maple Freedom picking up the victory and tying this one up. Now 4-4. Now going into our tiebreaker map. David, looking at just kind of what we saw there, it's crazy. Maple Freedom winning 3 in a row. And then Lamp coming back winning 4 in a row. Maple Freedom tying it up. I mean, very back and forth plays. Obviously, I mean, do you think that was more of the map that we were on or just the style that Lamp has decided to play?
You know, well, perhaps one influences the other. Perhaps
true.
They're better at a map like Ghost Town than they are otherwise. I mean, who knows? So the tiebreaker map is Ruinberg.
That's right.
And it looks as though Maple Freedom will be on defense. I'm not 100% sure if they've gotten the choice to the chance to pick yet.
Okay.
No, they haven't. So we'll see that live. We usually don't get to see that actually happen.
That's true.
So overall in statistics, Mr. Man leading off, Maple Freedom with 1,800.
Okay. What?
Oh, okay.
Do we have to go to stats?
Let me hide the chat and let's go to
Let's
stats.
go to stats.
Let's go to stats.
It made David laugh. Let's see what it was.
No, I'm just laughing because this happens way too often, and I don't change my story. I still don't really like the Tiger ones, guys. They are 2 and 3 and the damage, and that's just it is what it is.
Yeah, they love showing you up.
You know what I'm gonna go with on this one? It's because the other tanks were more important and everybody knew it.
That's
so
right.
Left the Tiger 1 alone.
That's right.
No, but realistically, that's exactly why you bring the Tiger 1, so it's kind of a self-defeating argument. Anyways,
Maple Freedom chooses defense, so they won the tiebreaker. They do have the one to choose, and Lamp takes a timeout.
Lamp takes a timeout.
Wise choice here going into our next one. Looking at Ruinberg, like we're going into that. Who do you think you're going to give it to? Who do you think has the slight upper edge on this map that we've seen the entire season so far?
Neither team looked good on Ruinberg at all. Now that I think about it,
the one that I'm thinking of is I think it was a couple weeks ago when we were just like praising Lamp for being psychic.
It was Lamp blitzing down the 0 line
with
against
aggressor
#RU.
Yeah.
And cutting him off and cleaning it up. It was a smart call.
Right.
I think it was #RU. They did it against somebody.
They did it against another team.
Yeah. With how much Ruinberg we've seen this season. Anyway, so they come down the 0 line and push into the western side, and that's very smart.
Yeah.
Based on what they saw at the time.
Okay.
Not smart all the time.
Huh.
Can be a problem. So maybe you give it to Lamp by a little bit. I don't really know though. Neither team, like I said, played this map well at all.
Okay.
All season long.
So it's really
aside from
anyone's game.
That one meta gamble push thing
from Maple.
From
Lamp.
You're right.
Now looking.
Leading me astray.
I'm sorry, that was my bad. That was totally my bad. Forgive me. Now if Lamp were to do that again, if Lamp were to just send those tanks blitzing down the 0 line, and Maple decided to go to the northern cap, I mean, is it still possible for Lamp to just flank around again, and now we have a crazy reverse situation, which it seems Lamp does well at?
Nope.
Not possible.
Nope. Not with how many they put into the east last time.
Okay. Cap would just run out.
Yeah, 30 seconds wouldn't even be enough time for them to get back with reasonable shots on Cap. I mean, they could fly in and maybe hit something. We've seen the crazy RNG some of these guys get.
That's true. That's true.
Just swear when they're driving by a gap, they just auto aim and click, which isn't a bad thing to do. But it just doesn't work out for some people as well as it does for others. I don't know.
Is that some resentment? Is that some bitterness from the past?
When it comes to me and RNG or that kind of thing, yeah, there's definitely
never on your side.
Some bitterness and resentment. Yeah, so it happened a number of times. I'd be fully aimed playing IS6s with, say, like Jackie Rudo, a teammate on my team, and he used to always rub it in my face. So I'd be fully aimed and I'd take a shot and it would miss. And he would literally drive right past me.
Full speed,
full bloom and click, and he would hit the guy. And it happened way more often than it should have.
I'm so sorry, David. But enough about that memory lane. Let's get right into the tiebreaker match. Ladies and gentlemen, Maple Freedom versus Lamp. It's all tied up 4-4. Let's see who's going to take it. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
Maple Freedom with a 5100 3 IS3s, the T54 lightweighted 2 LTTBs. Lamp with a 5100 1 IS3, 4 T54 lightweights and a T37. Lamp is on offense. Maple is on defense. LTTBs are a very strong play on defense. We've seen it a number of times, but so many light tanks from Lamp could make that a questionable lineup decision.
All right, well, and also looking, Lamp is on the offense, so they will not have the opportunity to blitz down the zero line as they did last time, because that was when they were on defense. Look at the victory shots coming out for Lamp. They're excited to be alive right now. They're excited for this battle. I'm sure they have the confidence that they're going to be able to take this. Let's see how this continues to develop. Wow, looking at Maple Freedom, looking like they've spent a lot of their members over at the northern end. A few now pushing into Delta Village and getting there. Giggles, I guess, is the only one who's on the very far north in that A6 position. The question is, will they respond in time, or will Lamp be able to find a slight advantage here against Maple Freedom in our final tiebreaker match? 6 minutes and 8 seconds on the clock. Invade pushing through, taking a shot in that T-54. 292 points of damage there. Looks like it came out of sights. 5,100. But looking where Maple Freedom is, David, usually we see a more sort of control coming out from the defensive team for Delta Village here. Is this going to really hurt Maple Freedom with what Lamp is doing?
I don't know, honestly. It's not bad to defend from back here.
Okay.
But there's only... You'd have to put the 54s on cap in order to create some sort of reason for Maple Freedom to come out of where they are right now. But Maple Freedom has so much hit points and so much beef that if they decided to just push directly onto that cap from the other side and bully their way on, they stand a pretty good chance. Lamp has to get the proper position set up and only use one man on cap, and then they are going to be in great position to complete this. Felix's IS-3 going out where he is now is going to be absolutely critical. I think that Maple Freedom is making a mistake having such little mobility out of their LTTBs so early in the game, or in other words, they're moving too late.
Yeah.
They come down the 3 and blitz across the F line, they may be there in time. One person on cap actually will give them more time to flank all the way around if they want. But Lamp can't really afford to put more than, say, 2 on cap without giving up so many positions that the IS-3s from Maple Freedom would push right through those buildings, reset and back off.
Gotcha. So let's see now, like you're saying, those LTTBs are deciding to take that through road, not going for the F-blitz, knowing that Lamp only does have one member, so they're going to go look at the full way around, stopping on the corner over there. Giggles with his teammate there, Veggie. 2 LTTBs using the Battle Buddy system. Let's see how effective they can be. Super Destructo actually backing off a shot now. Going across there. A little bit of damage going through. 740 left. He's still very fairly healthy. Backing up, but another shot going into Giggles now for 201. Getting more, approaching that half health line. Super Destructo on the chase. Veggie. Another chunk of damage going through there, and Felix taking some damage as well. In his IS-3, looks like Lamp deciding to chase this one out. They've given up on the cap, and looks like they're just trying to find some damage so they can get it. Mort and his T-54 taking a little bit as well. Baby Halo still sitting back in his T-37 down. I think he's over in, pushing up now forward. In that K0 position. Felix taking some more shots. Damage going on to Bobby. Another chunk. Giggles deciding now to go up the F-road, trying to find a better position. Anything better than where he was last time. More chunks going up across IS-3. Felix backing off. 3 minutes and 25 seconds. I mean, time is going down, and time is of the essence. If you are Lamp, you do have to be the one to cap it or destroy the rest of Maple Freedom. If Maple Freedom, again, just has to stay alive for the full duration of the battle or successfully defend their caps, then they will take this victory, taking the match of the night. Now Super Destructo pushing through. Looks like here's the push for Lamp. A very decisive, going straight for the Delta Village. Let's see how this turns out here. And Bay going through. Looks like they're going to go for Bobby and his IS-3, finding any sort of shots that they can. JD Benjamin doing a good job, but Bobby is the focus. A couple more shots and he'll go down. But these T-54s just quite penetrated. Finally, Fort picking that one up. Now Fight Breast Cancer getting low in his 5,100. One shot going through. He just has one more left. Let's see if he can make count. A good chunk of damage. 603 going on to JD Benjamin. He did make it count. He is now on the reload. Some shots going against out of sight. In his 5,100, he just has 2 left, and Bait is extremely low. Let's see who's going to come out on top. Lamp has the HP advantage over Maple Freedom, and Smiling Rage finds JD Benjamin. Lamp still has 7 members against the 5 of Maple Freedom. If they can continue this, they might take it, but Felix trying to claw his way back for the rest of his team. Maple Freedom doing what they can, but Mr. Man getting extremely low. One more shot in that T-54 and he will go down. Felix taking a shot from Aggressor, finds Giggles, tank after tank falling for Maple Freedom. Smiley Rage finding Mr. Man out of sight. Only has one more shot in that 5100. He isn't even on reload yet. So it looks like Lamp is going to take this one. I mean, every member is one shot, but they just have so many more guns. Felix out of sight, double kills. Lamp finding another one. There it is, fight press cancer. Finding Felix. And that IS-3 out of sight is on the run. I mean, if he had his shots up, if out of sight had 6 shots, and he was able to one-shot these 3 tanks coming at him and maybe be able to find Aggressor and stay alive long enough, he could take it. But that is just not the case, as Super Destructo and Fight Press Cancer gonna finish this one out. Lamp taking the victory in the tiebreaker, 5-4. Very explosive battle indeed there coming out for Lamp. David, anything you saw in that last battle that kind of was eye-opening or surprising to you?
The grouping up to push down the 0 line wasn't exactly surprising to me, but it was a very good call overall.
Okay.
Knowing how many tanks were out of in different positions into the western area. Basically, and the fact that Lamp already had 6 tier 8s to begin with over 2 of the tier 7s for Maple Freedom.
Gotcha.
That was the push that needed to be made. Maple just didn't stop it.
That's right. Lamp doing a fantastic job. Congratulations to them picking up that victory there. David, is there anything in stats that's worth mentioning before we go?
Out of sight with 2200, fight breast cancer with 1933, and Mort with 2066.
Well, there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll finish our first matchup of the night, but don't go anywhere. Match number 2 will be coming up right after this.